What is the title of this video, John?
Does veganism affect relationships?
It's not always a negative way in which the relationship is being affected. However, when someone goes vegan, the people around them may start to think, what are they doing? Have they lost their mind? Actually, Juanca, he's been with us for the past couple of days, and you know, me and John, we eat only vegan, and he was just talking about how he feels like he's almost forced to eat vegan just so that we don't think of him as a bad person. Our relationship has been affected in one way or another. I've always had my meat-eating friends, and I only went vegan about 6 months ago. Now, I still have my meat-eating friends, and I don't think any differently of them. I don't think that they're a bad person. I just know that they don't have the same understanding of what's going on as me. Like, I've seen all the videos and documentaries, I've done the research.
In most cases, the people who, you know, actually turn vegan, they're affected by other people kind of, you know, making fun of them, even though they might not be serious. Just a single thing that doesn't match with the other person can completely change your outlook, and you kind of categorize that person in a different place than you would otherwise if he ate the same thing as you. Even though you still like the people, you will be thought of and think of them in a slightly different way. No matter how small, it will be slightly different because it's a big change. They might, you know, even disconnect completely from you because they will feel that you are rejecting them. You are rejecting the tradition of, you know, the family tradition, their culture. You're rejecting their lives. They're so ingrained in culture and what they want to be right that they don't even want to make a logical, you know, decision about anything, and that, you know, just means that if you or you know, a family member of this person that thinks this way does something different, then he will, you know, his world will kind of like turn upside down because he or she knows deep inside that they don't want to change, and therefore you are the crazy one.
Yeah, because it's kind of a pain in the ass to start changing. Imagine if you've been eating meat your entire life and suddenly someone is telling you that you shouldn't be eating meat, and they actually have real evidence and real, you know, facts as to why you should stop eating meat. The natural response for a person is to be defensive. Like, get the hell away from me. I'm eating meat. Look at how I am. I'm healthy.
Exactly.
You know, the world is still turning. Exactly. And that's how most people will react. The problem is that I think that a lot of people, they just don't want to make such a huge transition in their life, and they'll respond negatively to that. I mean, when you look at some of the comments on, like, some of the vegan hate comments on YouTube, I mean, how many of them actually have any kind of logic? Like, how many people actually try to prove a valid point? Like, a lot of people will just say vegan pussies, vegan faggots. It really has to do with your, you know, your defense mechanism and you not wanting to change and wanting to accept that maybe you've lived your entire life in not the best way. I have a lot of meat-eating friends as well that they do not want to watch any documentaries. They don't want to watch any videos because they know, they are they are terrified of actually realizing the truth. They do not want to see what I've actually seen.
Humans are built just to have the best life possible, the most comfortable life possible, and obviously taking this route is gonna be not the most comfortable route at all, you know. Obviously it's not as hard as people make it up to be honest, but the only thing that is not going to be comfortable is the social aspects that we're talking about here. But, you know, people just, you know, they don't want to know the truth because they know that deep inside there is something wrong, and if they actually sat down and saw it and accepted it, that they would be forced to change, but they don't want to even go there.
Does veganism affect relationships? And that's what it does. These little, you know, core personalities that people hang on to. Does that affect the way that we see them? It maybe affects maybe a superficial bit where I'm like, man, I mean, you could learn so much, but whatever. I'm still their friend, and like for me, it's no problem at all. You know, I'm not gonna stop being someone's friend just because they're continuing to eat meat.
No. In reality, I would be lying if I said that my view or perspective hasn't changed a little bit, because it has, especially family and close friends. You want people to, you know, understand it, and it's a little bit frustrating sometimes. You know, I haven't pushed anything on anyone because I know it's, you know, I know how it was for me when, you know, I was, you know, getting introduced to the whole thing, and I was really repelled by it. So I'm trying not to take that approach. I do think of them in a slightly more negative way because I just wish they would take the time and not be a fucking lazy ass and just, you know, do some research, at least just on, like, whether they do go vegan or not, that's fine. Just at least, you know, just to understand the whole thing, because if you're really close to a person, you want to be understood, and that's a very important thing in relationships. And if it's ignored too long, unless you don't give a shit at all, it might affect it.
Maybe a small group of people out there really do start hating all their meat-eating friends because they're dicks and they're idiots and whatever, and vice versa. But really, that's a small group.
If a really close friend did all the research and whatever, and still didn't really care about the animals getting like the suffering and the pollution and everything, you know, I wouldn't hate them, but my opinion would change. I would think that they are, you know, like they're assholes, but they're still my friends, you know. You know, I do consider them a bit of an asshole because, you know, how can you not care about the world or anything at all? You know, if you don't care about anything, you know, it's not good.
You know, my friends aren't necessarily affected, but my relationships with the people in public, like the general public, has changed a little bit. I go to a restaurant and I'll see everyone, you know, eating cheese and steak, and everyone is so happy and laughing, and there's just hundreds of people in the restaurant eating, and at times I think, you know, fuck, we are barbaric, man. Like, how did we get to this point?
Exactly.
Like, I understand that back in the day, in the cavemen days or whenever, we had to hunt our food to survive, but having the choice to eat anything that you want in the world, how did we get to the point where almost every restaurant in the city will offer, you know, some sort of meat, and people are so happily eating it? Like, in my opinion, the worst mistake that a vegan can make is assuming that a meat eater knows just as much as they do about veganism. So I can't hate someone for not being informed.
Also, one of the things that, you know, I realized is different is when you're talking to friends, you notice that they're becoming more careful telling you that they're gonna eat this and this. People are a little bit careful with what they say to you. They're almost suspecting you to trick them into saying something bad that you can criticize or something.
And like they're scared of offending you or getting you angry or something just because, like, oh, you know, he's a vegan, so I can't even talk about meat. Fuck, of course you can talk about meat, man. How does John and me, for example, going vegan affect the viewers of YouTube? Not even just subscribers, viewers in general. It's impossible to answer. Some people will see this video and manipulate our words into saying something, you know, negative, and other people will be 100% with us and they'll completely understand where we're coming from. But it's very, very difficult to answer these kinds of questions.
It's a very
such a short
topic,
amount. Exactly.
Isn't it?
It's extremely complex.
Yeah, because everyone has an opinion, everyone has relationships, everyone relates the person that they're watching or that they know with something else. So it's always it's like human psychology 101.
Every single person has their own reality, opinions, experiences. So what we say may not apply to what they think, and therefore there may be a disagreement, and therefore you might not understand me, and then therefore you might hate me. This is like it's impossible.
Even though your family and friends reject you, I think you have to be the better person and just still be nice to them, because it's going to show them that you know what you're standing for, you know what you believe in, and you know what's right, and you're not going to make a change just because they're rejecting you.
You're doing it for yourself and for your ethics and the animals, the human race, our planet, everything. But don't let it get to the point where it can obsess you in some parts so much where it'll negatively affect your friends, your family, your co-workers, anyone around you. Don't let it get to that point where you're ruining relationships because of your own beliefs, because that is what ends up becoming, or you become considered a extremist, and that's someone that no one wants to be a part of.
Let me know in the comment section below what your experiences is with coworkers, friends, close friends, family. If you struggle with it or if you don't struggle with it, let us know. We're really interested in knowing your answer. Check out Sergi G's channel, amazing channel.
Free shout out, man.
Well, it's not free, man.
Oh
the bill is coming later. But make sure to subscribe, awesome content. And yeah guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to click the like button, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.